After a marathon session of day and night negotiations, European leaders have finally agreed on a budget for the next 6 years. And for the first time, they've agreed on sweeping cuts to reduce spending. One of the areas likely to be hit hardest is development aid, which could have a serious effect on humanitarian assistance to Africa. From Brussels, Sandra Gathman-Gonzalez reports.
A struggling currency and a continent largely in economic recession has pressured EU politicians to look out for national coffers. Despite pledges to support overseas humanitarian efforts, European leaders have made the deepest cuts to development aid. Campaign groups say Africa's poorest communities will be hardest hit.
The effects could be really devastating. If the ambition of the European Commission proposal was achieved, we know that it could, for example, connect an extra 51 million people to drinking water. That's pretty amazing, and we know that the European Commission can do that. If cuts go much deeper, then actually not only will all of that not happen, but we risk turning off the tap, literally, to projects that are already in place on the ground. And we think that's unacceptable for the poorest people to have to go through that because of an economic crisis over here.
And as Europe continues its security and humanitarian operations in Mali, a key concern is whether recent spending commitments to sub-Saharan Africa will stick.
The crisis in Mali reminds us of the importance of long-term development spending. Of course, we need humanitarian spending now, and we need absolutely urgent and critical support to bring the situation to a peaceful resolution. But what would really help in preventing such future crises would be long-term development spending that can give people in those countries their own economic income, stability and security, so that things don't break down.
The EU's top position as the biggest aid donor to Africa is likely to stay, largely because that allocation of funds enjoys wide public support here. A recent survey shows that around 85% of European citizens want that aid to continue despite the economic crisis. And so campaign groups are now looking to the European Parliament to defend what they say is an overwhelming public interest to safeguard aid to Africa. Sandra Gatman, Arise News in Brussels.